I guess I am. Okay. Hi, guys. Long time no see. How's it going? So, as you guys know, Turkey Tom... Fuck. What? Already. Notification. Okay. As you guys know, Turkey Tom... King, one of the great giants of commentary, of the commentary community, has been accused recently of some stuff. Let me pull out chat. Basically, he's been accused of sexual impropriety, or I guess. And there was a whole bunch of hullabaloo with new commentary and old commentary, and people being like, oh, why aren't commentary people covering this drama? Specifically aiming it at Nicholas Diorio, even though I don't really understand that. They would be like, oh, if this were Hassan related, this would have been covered immediately, or whatever. And then they tried to be like, oh, we're not aiming these criticisms at Nicholas Diorio, even though they clearly were. I mean, let me see if I can find it here. By the way, how's it going, everybody? How's it going? I didn't really cover the Turkey Tom allegations when they first came out because I stream once a week these days, or these weeks, or during this time period. I stream once a week. I'm more focused on editing these days. But I figured I would at least cover the response video from him because I do think it's worth going over since there is so much drama surrounding it. Also in the news, we've got Lonerbox versus the World. We can take a little peek into that if you guys want. So let me just pull up my stuff here. I'm snowed in right now because we have 30 centimeters of snow today, and it's calling for another 20 tomorrow, so we're getting over 50 centimeters of snow. Jesus. Yeah, the DC area was pretty snowed in as well. Sorry, just pulling this up here. I just want to check in on Lonerbox versus the World, and then we'll watch the Turkey Tom stuff.
Own countries have committed in the past. Then it makes people, especially students and younger people who are just learning about, you know, all the bad things that Western Europe and America did in the past, and it just makes them feel better about themselves. And also because I guess,
Hi, Chris.
like some people just don't have personalities, so they fill it in with kefiyas and River to the Sea and all that shit. Yeah, that's why. But I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. People need to get a lot better at spotting the difference between someone who's into politics and actually wants to debate an issue or they've got an interest in an area versus someone who is doing something for other ambiguous, vague, more like narrative reasons or whatever else. Like self-aggrandizement, yeah.
It does, and I do have, because I did, I think this question came up with like a previous, I think Soy Pill was doing it, And I think Vadim came in, and that's where I got the idea for that question, because I was listening to this conversation and I was like, I completely disagreed with Vadim, because I thought, like, okay, well, this group seems to be very maximalist.
Yes, I will be going over the same thing.
Probably even
Single player Carl, how's it going?
The way I've heard, like, oh, well, at least Trump wants peace, you know. So it felt very degrading. And now I'm not really sure what the end result is going to be from all of this. Like, I'm a little bit salty because I've been pretty invested with Ukraine for a long time, and
hi, In Pursuit of Knowledge, how's it going?
Especially, like, it felt like they kind of ignored it at just
so we'll be going over the Turkey Tom
opportunity,
allegations shortly
as
here.
Russia was, like, doing things that even Israel did, but actively saying, like, this is good, we are doing this, like, atrocity, and it's, like, the best thing ever, and you can cope and seethe, and, like, objectively admitting to the fact that they were, like, evil and being proud of it. It's just, like, it's hard for me to really rationalize, especially since a lot of those activists were, like, extremely hostile to East Europeans. Oh, got it. Sorry about that. I'm gonna head out now.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Do appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And also, just so everybody's aware, I want to just clarify that other super chatter Wix, so you give Wick more money if you want to debate. But I posted the link in there and I sent it to Wick, and it said exactly verbatim what I said. So Gibbs was not confused. You were just lying, or you were ignorant. It's okay.
Whoa.
Done. $5 from Trib1. Loner, question for you. Is there a way Trump can legitimately reverse the ill will he secreted when it comes to USA's allies? I say no.
Well, I think Loner's doing well here. No reason for me to be worried. Or anything, really. Shall we go over some of the responses to what's been going on with Turkey Tom? Let's see here. New Tom video addressing his size. So I just want to go over some of the memes first, because I do think that they're really funny. Hi, Hatebox, how's it going? So, back when this all happened, I remember Nick was going over the allegations on stream against Turkey Tom, because these allegations exploded on Kiwi Farms, right? These girls, two girls basically made Kiwi Farms accounts and went onto Turkey Tom's Kiwi Farms and started spilling all of the juice, spilling all the beans, okay? Basically saying that Turkey Tom was a inconsiderate lover. Not inconsiderate lover. They said way worse than that. They basically said that he was abusive, that he was very rough during sex, that he wasn't safe to be around, that he made, you know, one of them bleed every time they had sex, whatever. So, Willing Mac says, I watched Nick's stream and he's just talking about how Tom has a big hairy dick. God damn it. I don't need to know this information about people. Tom has responded saying his penis is actually quite small. Big developments? Are you fucking serious, bro? The memes on this are so... The memes of this drama are so funny to me. New Tom video addressing his size. Are you serious? What is going on right now? This made me so mad. This made me so fucking mad, dude. This one here, I literally never miss. New YouTuber penis size prediction chart. This person is a fucking vibes terrorist, okay? This person is a fucking vibes terrorist. I hate them, and I want them to die, okay? Whoever you are, I want you to die. That is that's my only thing. That's all I can say is I want you to die. Girth and length. Girth is really small. Length is really long. Dude, I don't know what this says about Justin Wing. I am so sorry. How big are you, Star? What is a vibe terrorist? I don't know. They just fucking they Allahu Akbar the fucking vibes. Okay, that's all I know that's politically incorrect, but I can say it. Okay, I come from a Muslim background. I'm allowed to say that kind of shit. All right. Has he addressed the diaper maxing allegations? I believe he talks in the fucking YouTube. Who are you? Who is this person? Are they a YouTuber? You are a vibes terrorist, and I hope you die. That's all I'm gonna say. There's this great meme. Me on the bottom left. Basically where I am too. I would be on the bottom left as well. I would be right here. Length and girth. Teeny tiny. That's where I would be. I will address the allegations. I do, in fact. It is very small. It's basically... Star, no, you will get banned. I mean, it's a joke. It's clearly a joke. My tweet was clearly a joke. You can be reported for that? Okay, fine. I will edit this. Edit post. I hope you die. For legal reasons. This is clearly a joke. Okay. Anyways. I don't know who this is. But fine, I'll bookmark it. Anyways. Willie Mack, he has been tweeting about a lot of this, actually, so. God, dude. Nick has been going back and forth with people. Rachel Dolezal tweeted again. I have all my notifications on for Rachel Dolezal. I believe Leia made a big tweet about this. So let's go to that to just catch up, shall we? Okay. YouTuber Turkey Tom is facing allegations by a previous ex-girlfriend. Oh. By a previous ex-girlfriend whom he dated for 7 months, and a 2-month fling, of recording sexual encounters with them without consent. This ex is also stating that nothing illegal happened, and it's not revenge porn, while coming forward with the allegation. I think that's interesting, that while saying they were recorded without consent, the ex is also stating that nothing illegal happened and it's not revenge porn. I mean, I guess since it wasn't released, but while coming forward with the allegation, the ex also stated they were considering contacting the police but didn't. Starting, the ex lets folks know that one of Tom's ex-girlfriends was hacked and the hackers were blackmailing him. The allegations continue with the accusation that Turkey Tom hit this fling and bruised her face. The fling also states that Turkey Tom is into age play. The ex that made the initial KF post states that Turkey Tom was rough during their sexual encounters and would choke and hit her as well. Turkey Tom's show with commentary streamer Nicholas DiOrio and commentary YouTuber Lord Vega is also on hiatus. It is unknown why it's on hiatus, but it was announced tonight on Nick's stream. Only testimony was provided on Kiwi Farms and no further evidence was provided. Kiwi Farms is asking for further evidence from the fling and the ex. Let's see. Hi, Kiwi people. I dated Tom for a few months after meeting him on Tinder. I'm not super into internet stuff and had no idea what Kiwi Farms was, but this page was always his #1 searched Safari thing that pops up on iPhone when he went to Google something. When I asked about this website, he got super defensive and weird about it. So I obviously looked into it and found all of this crazy shit, like him admitting to being bisexual, ? Messaged the owner of this website, Joshua Moon, to get the code to post here. Basically I started to get suspicious about all the e-girls he's followed / interacted with, and he started raging at me. He also lied to me at first about the fact he does YouTube. He did some crazy shit like kicked holes in a wall at a house he was renting because some e-girl who copies Belle Delphine got hacked and the hacker was blackmailing him with his dick pics. He continued to talk to her after the fact. I have screenshots confirming all of this, attached a couple, but I think I have more. This guy is a real freak and likes to record sexual encounters without asking first during almost every time. I know for a fact he's done this to at least one other girl, serial gooner, and has flown out several e-girls to sleep with. He told me he has a file on his computer called Just In Case that's basically voice memos or calls from his exes to blackmail them with in case they ever say something about him. Thought I would get the message out and confirm y'all's suspicions. Also, if this gets out, to warn other young women in the Texas area about this dude. So that's one of the posts. I've been in contact with the ex since Tom and I broke up, yes. She's aware that I'm posting on here and is actively trying to make an account to post here as well. She gave me permission to post these screenshots. Her IG is Clorox Katie. After leaving his house and flying back home, had a big bruise. I mean, you know, the bruise doesn't look good, right? Now, again, keep in mind, I'm just reacting to this without the rest of the context that we will be getting later, okay? The 7th-month ex provided a list of pros and cons that she wrote before her and Turkey Tom broke up, dated January 4th, 2026. Amongst the cons list, Sacramento wrote, said he likes hurting me during sex even when I bleed. And we can look at the pros and cons list here. And again, we're just going through this. I think Turkey Tom makes a decent response in video. So I am just doing this kind of like read through of this thread, okay? So keep that in mind, trying to be as objective as possible. But I also can't deny, I started watching some of it and I do think that he makes a decent response. So, though I have some criticisms, but I think he makes a decent response. Okay, pros and cons list. Pros, sweet sometimes, dates are nice, tries to make it work, funny, pays for meals, makes me feel secure, muscles. Cons, chopped in the face and thinks we're matched in looks. That's just not nice. That's just not. Wait, this is a pros and cons list about whether you want to keep dating somebody, and that's one of the things that you list as a con? Okay, if you're really into somebody, if you love them, they can be chopped as fuck in the face, okay? You don't give a fuck. But anyways, what do I know? Cheated on ex. Okay, that's a decent con. That would make me, second guess. Follows his friends around like a dog. Seems depressed all the time, no surprises, takes hours to respond, so dry and vague, rarely compliments me. Doesn't leave his house, online all the time. I mean, online all the time, doesn't leave his house. Yeah, those could be things. No hobbies other than gym or video games. Talks about other women lustfully in front of me. Follows IG models / OF girls even when I asked him to stop. Doesn't leave his house, yeah. No romance. Doesn't seem to want to support me at all in the future. Seems like he still feels some type of way towards his ex. Every time I bring up a valid concern, he says, I'm nice to you, though. Stop complaining. Sent dick pics to a Belle Delphine copycat before. Sex is all about him. Ran through. This is just... Are you kidding me? That's just mean. Can you imagine if a guy made a pros and cons list like this about a girl and said, oh, she's chopped in the face and, oh, she's ran through? Looks up to Sam Hyde unironically. I will say, if that's true, Turkey Tom, we gotta have a discussion. Says he likes hurting me during sex even when I bleed. Seems kind of self-obsessed. Doesn't ever talk about us, just him. Doesn't really seem to care about my goals at all. Everything is all about him. I do the bare minimum. Therefore, you're not allowed to feel upset. Okay. I mean, some of these are reasonable, but like, some of these are reasonable, but some of them are a little bit just fucking mean, you know? Anyways. In responding to the Turkey Tom allegations, Tom provides screenshots stating that Sacramento 89 gave consent to recording sexual encounters and asked to be recorded. Tom provides a screenshot of the text that occurred between Sacramento 89 and Turkey Tom, and this is from today. In this text, Sacramento 89 specifically states, I know it's consensual. Okay, so before we get to that, before we get to that, there's this. My experience with Turkey Tom allegations. Before we get to today's stuff, seeing Tom today. I'm not sleeping. I have to go to the airport in 3 hours, LOL. I still have this stupid bruise on my face. Additional pictures of testimony from the fling. If I'm getting used, I'm going to end my shit, especially because he is beating me damn near, and I'm just letting it happen because I want him to date me. Guys, I might snap and have to confess my love and insanity to him. I think hiding my BPD isn't working. Need him to know I'm really insane and already attached. Okay, this is not fun. The bruise on my face is real. Here's multiple different photos and timestamps of it. LOL. I don't know if I got it from him hitting me or holding my mouth closed, but he did both, so it could have been either. He even commented on the bruise the next day, not even apologizing, just said that he was scared to take me in public because I look like a victim. Another bruising picture was privately sent to Null. This picture is consistent with the picture that Left 4 Dead provided. Null, to which I agree with, confirms that the bruising is consistent with Tom grabbing a face so hard that he left a thumbprint bruise on the person's face. One, it's in Turkey Tom's room. Dust from the previous image is clearly visible, and there are several things, including the very unusual windows/blinds match perfectly. The top of Turkey Tom's head is visible, insofar as I can match the hairstyles only. It is the only, imagine he felt comfortable sending her, and I believe it's because his face isn't visible. He is very roughly grabbing her cheeks with his hand from behind in a manner that could leave thumbprint bruises on her face, like in the other photos Left 4 Dead has posted. I've considered using AI to replace her with Nick DiOrio so you can see what I mean, but I decided against it. If you're a streamer reading this post, please relay to your audience they were spared this image. So there's this. He's responded. I can fix her. Jesus. You know, I'm so glad that I didn't get into this whole space as a young person, because I could definitely imagine myself making some terrible decisions here. I mean, what am I even doing covering this drama? It's like it's stupid. Why am I covering this? I'm like a grown adult covering this horrible, like, stupid drama. Horribly stupid. My name is Caitlin/Kai, and I dated Turkey Tom on and off between August 2020 to November 2023, age 17 through 2021, for about 3 years total. Here are a couple of pictures of us together that I don't think I've posted previously, but regardless, you can see we are the same person based on this recent photo of me. This is something I really thought I would never have to respond to. I've spent over 2 years going out of my way to avoid addressing any of the claims made about me or my relationship. I even privated all of my social media for a very long time because I have never wanted to be a spectacle for people to poke at intimate details of my life for their own entertainment. Given recent events, however, I feel a sense of responsibility to say something. Tom and I had a very mutually toxic relationship, and yes, we both cheated on each other online. This behavior isn't good from either of us, but are private matters that don't in any way deserve to be blasted on the internet by me, and I would never feel the need to put that out to the world by my own choice. Unfortunately, it's been made public against either of our wishes, so I thought I should just acknowledge it. So now to give my experience with Tom in relation to the serious allegations being made by former partners. There's a lot of information being shared that I find to be extremely unnecessary, with the driving motivator to humiliate him. I find this behavior to be abhorrent and will not address any minor anecdote about him that doesn't carry emotional relevance. I really need to stress that this is just my experience, and he may have acted differently with the girls who he was involved with after me. I am not undermining anyone's experiences and don't wish to speculate on their credibility. I will directly reply to him as a partner overall at the end. Hi, Jekyls. I don't even think they need sexual therapy. I think that, some of the girls are a little bit crazy. They might need some therapy, but I don't know. The whole situation is textbook hormonal morons that need sexual therapy. Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that, but I don't know. Anyways, in regards to recording sexual encounters, the few times we did record anything, it was either with explicit permission beforehand or an established consent based on previous conversations in our long-term relationship. It really wasn't a frequent thing that happened, mostly before we started living together and were long distance. There are lots of things we did where I look back and shake my head because my standards for myself really have changed so much since then. But everything was always consensual between us. There were a few instances where I became uncomfortable with an encounter, and he was understanding and would not continue after I voiced his comfort. I don't think this is an allegation being made about him, but I wanted to stress that nothing in the bedroom that was rough or aggressive ever translated to domestic interactions. There are a lot of negative things to say about Tom, but he was always surprisingly patient and never did so much as yell at me. I never once felt fearful of him when he was angry the entire time we were in a relationship, which included living together for over 6 months. There has been a message circulating claiming that Tom and I participated in age play, which is just a blatant twisting of the truth. Tom definitely romanticizes power dynamics and heavy dom/sub stuff, but that was never expressed through age-related dynamic role-playing. It's clear he has a type for Sanrio mentally ill e-girls. Oh, that's a dig. But I just can't say from my experience that it was ever PDF-philic in nature. The person I knew between the years of 2020 to 2023 was not into those things. Anything after that, I wouldn't know. It is true that Tom has a blackmail folder on me consisting of phone recordings and text messages. I've known about it for a very long time because he told me. We were messy as fuck. Okay. I have never, or, oh wait, no. Sorry, I read that in the wrong tone. The right tone to read that in is, we were messy as fuck, okay? I have never had any intentions of speaking about him publicly, but I did decide to be evil after one of the times we broke up and tell him I was going to ruin his career because he was ignoring me and I knew it would freak him out. Jesus. Excuse me. So, like, yeah, I get his concern, even though I've clarified a million times that I would never do that. This was extremely shitty of me, and I'm really embarrassed to admit to it publicly, but without this context, it looks worse than it is. I do not feel at all fearful about him leaking anything private relating to me in response to this, because I think I've been very respectful, along with everything being the truth. Overall, Tom as a person is extremely flawed, and I'm disappointed to see he is still generally self-centered around sex as an act. It's typical 20-year-old men in their 20s, right? Early 20s, right? Our relationship really fucked me up for a while, and certain things still affect me negatively from it. According to what some have said, it goes both ways. Most of the things that hurt me about our relationship don't have much crossover with what other people have said about him, so I feel relieved that I can still maintain some privacy in a sense. We literally met as minors, and it's still the longest relationship I've been in. You don't date someone for 3+ years if you think they are an irredeemable piece of shit. I've never known him to be a person capable of these things, but everyone who has spoken up about him has been after we broke up, so I just couldn't know. As sad and angry as he's made me feel, I've never thought him to be heartless or sadistically cruel. Just someone that has a lot of issues. All I have is my own experience to use as my guide for what I think is true, but others shouldn't take it as gospel above someone else's testimony. I apologize for my brevity, as I only want to give pointed answers to avoid relaying intimate details about my sex life with an ex. I do not want to come across like I'm exposing Turkey Tom. I just felt morally inclined to share my experience about certain things since people have been wanting to specifically hear what I had to say. I don't think there's any need for follow-up. I said everything I wish to comment on. I hope I can just go about my life without this constantly coming up because we've been broken up for so long now. So that seems like, a pretty neutral response to everything. I mean, she's saying like, no, he was never physically abusive to me. No, we never engaged in whatever age play. We did cheat on each other, blah, 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 right? She says that he's a flawed person, right? Who isn't flawed? Let's see. Is there anything else in this thread that I missed? this person just does not seem very mentally well. Wait, did I get any responses to my fucking tweet? Anyways. Okay. My side. All right. Shall we watch this, guys? If I can say one thing, it is, yes. Relationships are messy. Okay? No surprise there. BWC the movie. Oh my god, dude. Relationships are messy. Okay? I just am so glad that I was not involved in this space as a young person. I really am. And you know, it's weird as somebody who's like recently started like going on dates again and like entering the dating scene. I specifically like I feel like I don't know, you have to be really careful about who you choose to go out with. And like for me, I have like a bunch of rules set as well because despite how small I am in this space relatively, I feel like there's still so much risk, you know? So, yeah, I feel like there's just so much risk. I specifically choose people who I feel like would never want anything like, I mean, I'm not the type of person to record these types of encounters anyways, and I'm generally like third or fourth date kind of girl. But yeah, yeah, it's, man, when I was watching this, I have a whole bunch of observations, I guess, that I will make known. So, yeah.
Of non-consensually filming sexual encounters being... I'm sorry that this response took so long. I wanted to make sure I had all the facts together before saying anything. Recently, I've been accused by an ex-girlfriend, along with an ex-partner, of non-consensually filming sexual encounters, being so rough and inconsiderate during sexual encounters that it bordered on assault, encouraging eating disorders, being into age play, along with a litany of other completely baseless, false accusations. The two women who are accusing me...
I don't know why these girls would make these accusations. Look, I want to say that most of the time when women make accusations, they are telling the truth. The place where that seems to not be the case seems to be whenever it's involving like a content creator who interacts with this space. Because I think these guys choose terrible partners. And two, I mean, yeah, what are you doing? Like, what kind of girls are you choosing? And two, I don't know, like, come on, bro. Like, the way that this girl talked to you, she talked to you like she was a fucking sex demon, okay? like, you know. I don't know. I wouldn't trust that. You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong, but
Sacramento
Okay.
89, real name Rowan, and Left 4 Dead, real name Katie, took to gossip forum Kiwi Farms to post the accusations, along with carefully cherry-picked screenshots to back up their claims. These claims aren't super difficult to debunk just because of the overwhelming amount of evidence I have on my side. So without further ado, let's start with Sacramento or Rowan. This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her...
Okay, well, part of it is that, yes, these guys are choosing terrible girls, but also there is a side of this space that is very vindictive. There's like a whole anti-fan community. When there's a whole anti-fan community, they will do anything to like get your personal life pulled into things, even if like you keep your personal life super separate, right? So but I mean, I think for the most part when girls do, like, I don't know, it's nobody wants to like come forward with stuff like this, but when you go specifically to Kiwi Farms or to any gossip website specifically to out these kinds of things, immediately I start to question like your motivations in this, right? Of all the places that you're going to get justice, why would you go to a gossip site that's known for doxing people, right? So I'm not into internet stuff. Has Kiwi invite account, yeah.
First post. Here, stack shots to back up their claims. These claims aren't super difficult to debunk just because of the overwhelming amount of evidence I have on my side. So without further ado, let's start with Sacramento or Rowan. This is a girl I dated for about 7 months, from May of 2025 until January 10th of 2026. 4 days later, she made her first post. Here, she alleges that I am a real freak and like to, quote, record sexual encounters without asking for consent. This is blatantly untrue. I have never recorded any sexual encounter without explicit consent. As a matter of fact, with Rowan, she was the one who initiated the idea of filming sex acts in the first place. On Tuesday, August 19th, after 3 months of knowing each other and being sexually active, Rowan texted me saying, "You should get those meta glasses when you crack me." I responded by saying, "For what?" And she answers again, "Cracking time," alluding to me filming her with the glasses onboard camera. Now, at the time, I did not feed into this. I did not show enthusiasm. I didn't even agree to get the glasses. I just responded and said, "Good night, sweet dreams." So 1 whole week goes by without us talking about it whatsoever, and then on August 25th, Rowan texts me saying, "You should get those meta things for real." So I respond by saying, "I think I'm going to avoid filming anything involving sex for a while," showing that I am clearly not the person interested in filming our sexual encounters. She is. As you can see in the text, even when I say I don't want to film us having sex, she pushes the issue. Now, to be clear, we did eventually take videos of ourselves being intimate, but I was given explicit consent every single time. And on a few occasions, she even took the phone out of my hand and was holding it while filming us. To be clear, there was never a tripod or a hidden camera. It was always handheld, and in every single video, she was clearly aware of the camera, making eye contact with the camera lens. Also, on September 8th, Rowan texts me, "I do miss it though," in regards to our sexual interactions. She follows it up by saying,
How dare you, sweep star? Stardust is live. How dare you, sweep star? Anything positive about Tom is sweeping. Look, I have my criticisms of Tom, okay? I think his Poppy and Xena video is somebody who covered Poppy and Xena from the start, okay? His Poppy and Xena video, I don't know who wrote that one for him, but there were some very deep inaccuracies in that video. And you know, it was a disappointing video because he generally puts out what seems to me pretty high quality content. So yeah, when he put out that video, but that's not related to this, right? Like, I don't know, this thing, never believe women. So no, I'm always about believing women, but when somebody shows their motivations here like this, going to Kiwi Farms of all places, it's like if I went to fucking Page 6 or TMZ. Not TMZ. TMZ gets their shit. Like, if you leak shit to TMZ, I don't know. I don't know. When you make an account and go to one of the, like, and don't get me wrong, everybody has an account on Kiwi Farms, right? Everybody has an account. Everybody reads it, right? But, everybody reads Kiwi Farms. But it's one thing to read the farms and another thing to like actually go there and like give people information, you know? Probably the best threads are going to be ones that people like picked up stuff from, right? I don't know. I don't believe in women. They aren't real. True. Okay. Oh, one thing I'll say is, like, it seems like here, and I don't think Turkey Tom would disagree with this, it does seem like maybe he's not the most mature partner, right? That's one thing I would say, is that from this video and from these interactions, I can tell that he's not maybe the most mature partner, but again, he's a flawed human being. So are all of us, right?
Send the videos. Keep in mind, these are videos that she claims in present day were taken without her consent. She then goes on to say, and I quote, "I will watch them and keep them close to my heart," clearly indicating she has no problem whatsoever with them existing. I'm an extremely paranoid person when it comes to my personal life and my sex life and my dating life. As a public figure, I just like to keep my private life private. So I was very...
First tip for you, Mr. Tom, Mr. Turkey, if you will, is to do not date people who have nothing to lose, okay? Do not date people who have nothing to lose. If they have nothing to lose, they probably don't give a fuck about their shit being leaked online, and they won't care about that happening to you, right?
hesitant to send Rowan any sexual videos we had taken. However, I did send her one single still image from one of the videos where my face is obscured. I guess there was some...
Just don't take the videos, dude. It's not... you don't need the videos. Just don't take the videos.
Lingering thought in the back of my mind that if her accounts were not locked down super well, and if she had been hacked, then the videos could have been made public. Now, there's an implication she...
Yeah, and to be fair, we saw something similar to this happen, right? Where there was some consent to recording videos or whatever in a certain thing, and then other things happened, so...
She makes a few different times that I'm basically blackmailing her with these videos.
Somebody asked if you had any intention of getting any sort of like law enforcement involved, but I feel like you answered this where you just want to try to compel him to delete whatever he has on you, and that's like the like the extent of your interest.
Yeah. And if he doesn't, I don't know. I'm kind of confused about what to do, but we'll see.
At no point anywhere did Rowan provide any proof of me threatening to release these videos of us having sex, or threatening to send them anywhere. So she has no reason to believe that I would ever release them. The idea that I, a person who makes a living as a public figure, would publicly release videos of me fucking my ex-girlfriend to get back at her is so insane. Not only would that incur reputational harm beyond belief, but also serious legal consequences. The only person who has ever sent an image of us having sex to anyone is, ironically, Rowan. Days after I broke up with her, she, without my consent, sent the only image she has of us having sex to the owner of Kiwi Farms. Here, listen to him describe it.
Oh, and one other thing, I forgot about this, but you actually, Sacramento had sent me a picture that was like censored. Apparently the only picture that he would send you is one where his face isn't clearly visible in it, but you can, I can tell the desk, like his computer is moved onto the table, but I can still see like the monster is like on the cozy that's like on the table, like in the exact same position. So I can tell that's clearly...
this is the beginning of the video, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This just, I think as we go through this video, you'll see he seems to present pretty decent evidence in favor of himself here.
His desk.
I guess I just find it ironic that someone who's accusing me of blackmailing her with her nudes literally sent a picture of us having sex to a man that she has never met. Now, Josh recounts seeing this image and talks about how hard it looks like I was grabbing Rowan on the mouth, essentially using it as evidence to support another claim she makes that I am too rough during sex, which I find very interesting because after I sent Rowan this photo, she texted me saying, "I like when you cover my mouth like that." Again, she texts me asking me to send her the videos, and she says, "Yeah, whenever you're not locked in, send the videos. It will fix me for about a week. Goon sesh." This is clear evidence that she has no problem with these videos existing. To this day, she has provided zero proof that the videos were recorded non-consensually or that I was blackmailing her with them, or that I had any intention of sending them to anyone. Reason being, I never did any of those things. In Rowan's interview, she claims that I
And I totally get his, like, okay, for maybe the average normie person, you would like hear about this, like, oh, this folder that he has just for evidence, and you would be like, yo, what the fuck? But I think for an online figure, it makes a lot of sense, I guess, you know? If you want to know my opinion on this, what I think happened is that, you know, that these girls caught very serious feelings for Tom, both of them, and he didn't reciprocate, and they, you know, one of them was talking to him like she was a sex demon. She thought maybe she could keep him if she talked that way to him. Didn't work out, and one of them has admitted to, you know, being mentally ill. So all I can say is, like, I'm very lucky that I've always dated what seems to be very mentally stable people, so
never asked for consent to film these sex acts, and says that she wouldn't notice I was filming until 30 seconds to 1 minute into it.
I'm not sure of an exact date, but maybe like 2 or 3 months into our relationship, he never asked me. He would just pull out his phone and record, and I wouldn't notice until maybe 30 seconds in a minute into it.
Now, I obviously can't and would never show these videos to anyone, but in them, it's undeniable that she is staring directly into the camera from the moment the video starts. She never once questions why I'm filming or what I'm doing, because the reality is that every single time we recorded, I had explicit permission. Ask yourself, how could she possibly have never consented to filming when she's literally...
This was also a very good move. You know, I could imagine, like, a guy in his 20s not knowing how to respond to this, and maybe takes a still of one of these videos of her, like, looking directly into the cameras and being like, hey, this is evidence that she knew, and was like, I'm glad that he wasn't that stupid. I'm so glad that Turkey Tom was not that stupid. Because then that would have turned into a whole different allegation, right? So good on him. I know it seems like pretty straightforward for most of us, but you never know, right? You never know, especially with somebody who's young and in this sphere, right?
Holding my phone next to her face as she sucks my dick. In the interview, she says that what really concerns her is that I wouldn't send her any of the sexual videos we took.
I had asked him multiple times if he could please send me the videos, so, like, he's not the only one who has
I mean, it's kind of good on him that he didn't send them, right?
videos of me naked, and he either ignored the question or was just like, no.
As I said earlier, I was paranoid to send these videos to anyone, even her, for fear of them leaking. Weirdly, in messages at the time, she seems to actually get it, saying, I want to see them videos, goon time, before following up by saying that she actually understands why I'm scared to send them to her. Now we're going to fast forward to October 17th in our text, and Rowan says, do you ever go back and watch our videos? And I reply, yes, I do sometimes, actually. Rowan responds that she's thinking about that right now, and then says, quote, need that big white cock. It's also kind of strange to me that at the time she referred to them as our videos, but in the present she's claiming she doesn't even want them to exist. On November 6th, Rowan asked me why I never ask her for nudes. I say I have a bunch of videos already, and that's why. She does not express that she has a problem with me having the videos. She doesn't complain about it. She doesn't say they were taken without her consent. In fact, throughout the entire relationship, she was sending me nude photos of herself unsolicited every single month. Why would you send nude photos of yourself to someone you think could use them against you? Rowan personally posted dozens of screenshots of...
I mean, yeah, it seems like she kind of wants him to get off to her body, right? So Tom seems wise beyond his years, yet still makes stupid 20-year-old mistakes. How difficult is it to just not record yourself having sex? Has that ever ended well? Well, look, Joe Matthew, I understand what you're saying. And I would say from, like, the perspective of a content creator, it's not something that you should do, but normal people who aren't in this sphere do it all the time, right? People who have jobs and, you know, have professional jobs and have very, you know, reputationally reliant, like, not reputationally, but jobs that are relying on reputation still do these kinds of things, right? So, yeah, not something I would ever recommend other people to do. So, but people do it, right? So, the one thing I would recommend to Turkey Tom is in the future, date women who have careers. That's what I would say. I don't know if any of these women had careers. So...
of our texts, and not a single one shows her bringing up any of the videos being non-consensual. Another interesting fact is that during our breakup, she texted me a pros and cons list, which she apparently had written about me on January 4th of 2026. And in the cons section, she complains about a lot of things, but she doesn't mention non-consensual videos whatsoever. With that out of the way, we can move on to Rowan's claim that I was sexually abusive towards her. In that same pros and cons list, Rowan wrote, "Says he likes hurting me during sex and making me bleed." This also reflects her public claims about me, but the great irony is that I never even said this. She did. On September 14th, 2025, Rowan sent me a text saying, quote, "I'm such a freak. I like when it hurts and bleeds after something Wong." In one of her public-facing posts about me, she posts an interaction which reads as follows. She says, quote, "Like, we don't need to do it 3 times in one day, or do it so hard I hurt and bleed." And I said, well, if you don't want to have as much sex, we don't gotta. We can do other things. And she says, okay, I like doing other things too. The way this screenshot is cropped, it comes across like I'm some, just super callous freak who's brutally jackhammering her vagina like Steve mining diamonds. But in the full uncropped screenshot, her immediate response to me after that is, "I'm a freak, I say this, and as soon as I see you, I'm gonna be freaky again, I can't resist." In the interview, she elaborates on this even more, specifically claiming that she would bleed almost every time we had sex.
Okay, and you would bleed the
Yes.
same? And you didn't stop?
Yeah, I would bleed almost every time.
This is just blatantly untrue as well, and it's easy to see by going through our text messages. On August 17th of 2025, the day...
You know, I really don't need to know this information. I really don't need... I'm kind of regretting deciding to cover this now. I'm kind of regretting deciding to cover this now. I really don't need to know this information about Turkey Tom, okay? But you know what? We're you know what? Poor Turkey Tom. He's suffering through this. We're all gonna suffer through this. So we'll get through it, I guess. Jesus. I don't even know what to say.
After my birthday, Rowan and I were planning to go to Mass, and she wanted to have sex with me. So she texted me saying, "Tom, I started my period." I was driving, so I couldn't say much, but I replied by saying, "That sucks, I'm 40 minutes away." She follows up by asking me if I mind getting my sword bloody, and I say I'll be okay. So if it wasn't already clear, she's asking me if I'm okay with getting blood on my dick. Why would this be something she's even asking if every time we have sex, I'm making her bleed? Keep in mind, this is months into us going out and being sexually active, and she's still worried that the idea of bleeding during sex would gross me out. Now, as soon as she began posting about me, people were naturally perplexed by her claim that she was bleeding from sex every single time. They asked if she had some kind of medical problem.
Dude, I just have to say, this fucking sucks. I would be, so embarrassed. You know, this is what the fuck, dude? You know, it's like, I met Turkey Tom IRL, right? When I went to VidCon for the first time last year. And it was last year. And he's just he's some guy. I think of him like a little kid, you know? I think of him as like a little kid, you know, even though he's young, he's much taller than me and anybody I know. And also he's got a huge YouTube career. I still I don't know. I viewed him as because he's so much younger. He is so much younger. And so when I talk to him, I'm like, oh my God, this little guy, this little guy. And then all of this stuff comes out and I'm like, bro, I'm like, no, oh my God, I didn't need to know this information. And then everybody's making jokes about never mind. You know what? I'm not even going to say, never mind. You know what? When they say the commentary community is very hostile towards females, they do not take into account the specific scenario, okay? Because I feel like this specific scenario is enough for female content creators to be like, maybe I don't want to be involved in this. Maybe I don't want to comment on this, right? maybe maybe this is the real hostility that females face in the commentary community. Maybe. Stardust, did you see Brandon Buckingham posted the ex's full docs on Twitter? Do you think that's justified? I haven't seen that. I'll have to take a look. Stop it. He's not little. Stop.
And she says
he's a little guy. They did not take into account the jackhammering like Steve for diamonds. The chat. The commentary community is a very hostile environment towards women. And this is why. It's just like they say, don't sheathe your sword in crazy. This is I can't believe I met this dude. I met this dude, okay? And I thought, oh, this little guy. He's a little guy, you know. Look at this little guy. This Tom is short. I thought like 5'11". When is 5'11" short? Hello? On the other hand, I feel bad for Turkey Tom. I do feel, because I would, if I were in his position, I would be humiliated, right? I would be humiliated. This is a situation nobody wants to be involved in. This is a situation nobody would ever choose for themselves. It is just a completely humiliating experience to have your personal life dragged into the public sphere like this, right? The price of being in the commentary community is covering blood on peens while hearing references to Minecraft, Suck It Up Buttercup. Look, maybe if like the guy I was covering was like near my age. Anyways,
I have no health issue that I know of. People were naturally perplexed.
Oops, I meant 5'7". I mean, technically 5'7" is still tall to me, but
by her claim that she was bleeding from sex every single time. They asked if she had some kind of medical problem, and she says, I have no health issue that I know of, never bled during sex before. It was the aggression. Just gave into it after a while and told him I liked
Nick does have a point. Like, maybe Tom did orchestrate all this to talk about how big he is. Bro.
it, but I bled after almost every single time. I feel like most of this statement has already been dispelled, but even the smallest detail of no medical condition that I know of is also false. On September 24th of 2025, Rowan texted me saying that she's going to switch from her current birth control, Nexplanon, to the pill because she has month-long periods that cause her to bleed. So regardless of sex, Rowan admitted...
Yeah, so that does seem... That's a very blatantly a lie, for sure. No, I don't even know what to say to you. You guys just say crazy things. I feel like an aunt, you know? I feel like an aunt, or like somebody who's too old to be doing this. What am I doing with my life?
Bleeds for an entire month.
Why did I decide to do this today? I thought, oh, I don't know what to cover this Monday. I'm going live every Monday, and I thought, wow, this thing just came out. I should cover it. Seems like he's got a decent response. And then I'm in the middle of covering it, and I'm like, wait, I have to talk about I have to talk about this? Why did I choose this? I still remember when they were making fun of him for asking Tipster for help because he literally could not fit to have sex with his girlfriend a few years ago. Wait, who? We're only 10 minutes into this video, and my god, this shit can't get any crazier. No, it gets crazier because it's a bunch of crazy people involved, right? Again, advice. You know what? I have advice for everybody in this scenario, okay? If you have things to lose, if you're in somewhat of a public-facing role at all, if you run the risk of, you know, if somebody could very easily blackmail you and make your life a living hell, you should probably date people who have careers that similarly, they probably don't want their shit out there, right? Also, if you're a girl who is not into the hookup culture or whatever, and you, I don't know, you hook up with a dude and you get like emotionally attached to him, it's fine. Like, you just need to admit that to yourself and stop forcing yourself to like get involved in these things. I don't know. I don't want to turn off the stream, but I'm also hoping the snow knocks out my power so I don't have to hear about Tom's junk anymore. Trust me, we're both, the commentary community is very hostile towards women. And this is why.
One of Rowan's main criticisms is that I'm too rough. In fact, she describes our sexual interactions as intense, violent aggression every single time.
I genuinely did think that he would maybe change and stop being so aggressive because
you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No. Everybody knows the longer you're with somebody, like, the more things you try out, right? I don't know.
He told me before that he would, like, kind of chill out, but he never did chill out, and it kept being the same very intense, violent aggression every single time.
She also alleges that I hit, choked, and beat her without asking, essentially painting me as an abusive partner.
Unfortunately, I did still stay with him, and I know a lot of people seem to have a lot of questions about that, and honestly, you were completely correct to question my judgment as to why I stayed with him, even though he was, you know, hitting and choking and beating me.
There's this idea she's trying to paint that in the relationship, I was constantly pushing this rough, violative sex onto her, and even though she didn't like it and was being abused, she stayed with me. I've seen some people question her saying things like, well, if you hated it, why didn't you just leave? But realistically, sometimes people do stay with abusive partners, and I don't want to invalidate their stories through my response. The real reason that she didn't leave is because she loved having sex with me, and throughout our entire relationship was constantly begging me to validate her fantasies. In this first screenshot here, she expresses that she is a real freak and says that she wants me to kidnap her, even saying, I want to be tied up, taken to the woods, and pounded, so maybe there's something wrong with me. I respond by saying that we should not have sex in the woods, and she says, you nervous? Right here in this next one, Rowan says, I yearn to be manhandled and led across a dark room. That's why I like you. I reply saying, you are like a dungeon person, and she says, you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you. In fact, anytime I wanted to have more...
Hey, Star, have you heard that the commentary community is extremely hostile towards women? Just thought you should know. What? It's messed up, but I'm thinking of Tom absolutely beating the crap out of someone while talking in his normal speaking voice. What?
Loving something wrong with me. I respond by saying that she loved having sex with me, and throughout our entire relationship was constantly begging me to validate her fantasies. In this first screenshot here, she expresses that she is a real freak and says that she wants me to kidnap her, even saying, I want to be tied up, taken to the woods, and pounded, so maybe there's something wrong with me. I respond by saying that we should not have sex in the woods, and she says...
Can we just read this? I don't think we should have sex in the woods, TBH, but in the privacy of a bedroom. That's fine. Imagine how it would look if someone came across that way. The funny part here is that Tom is like responding to her as if she's being literal. That's why you go like a mile in, but then I'm just in the woods. Yeah? I don't want to have sex in the woods. Can we acknowledge how funny that is? That, like, he is like, he's, bro. Are, like, that he's responding to it in such a literal sense is very funny to me. I don't think we should have sex in the woods, TBH, but in the privacy of a bedroom, that's fine. Imagine how it would look if someone came across that. That's why you go like a mile in, but then I'm just in the woods, yeah? I don't want to have sex in the woods. Sorry.
Says, you nervous? Right here in this next one, Rowan says, I yearn to be manhandled and led across a dark room. That's why I like you. I reply saying, you are like a dungeon person. And she says, you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you. In fact, anytime I wanted to have more loving, slow...
What? I'm sorry. How was hiking? I saw a YouTuber banging a chick so hard she bled. Cool, bro. He is so much on the spectrum, he doesn't understand what a red flag is. Dungeon personnel. Is he trying to say you are like a dungeon person? Wait, what? You are like a dungeon person. Does he mean like a BDSM person? Maybe he doesn't. Okay, well, no. You know what? Tom is intelligent enough to know. Oh, anyway, never mind. Okay. Manhandled and led across a dark room. I'm like the main character in the cruise. What? That's why I like you, because you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you. I'm tapped into my natural instincts. This motherfucker responds with, I'm like the main character in the cruise. Tom, what is this game? What is this? He's like autism maxing here. I don't know what's going on.
Why I like you.
Why would you do? I mean, what is this? Now that's what I call Riz. He's literally autism maxing here. I'm like the main character in the cruise. Does this work? Is he just a big enough YouTuber that he can get away with this? This is his Riz? I'm like the main character in the cruise. Oh my god, dude.
I reply saying, you are like a dungeon person. And she says, you are big like a caveman and I feel small next to you.
Spitting absolute game right now.
In fact,
God,
anytime I wanted to have more loving, slow, I guess sensual intercourse with Rowan in the bedroom, she actually had a problem with that. I remember one specific instance where I was being more slow and sensual, and I remember her whispering in my ear saying, I want you to pound me. And that's probably why on June 5th, 2025, she texted me saying, I need to get face fucked for an hour. And I replied by saying, damn, exams suck. On June 7th, she texts me and says, I am excited to get fucked borderline domestic violently. At one point in the interview, she states that one time I was angry at my ex-girlfriend, and that the next time we had sex, I was particularly aggressive. This is a very strange thing to accuse me of, given that on October 13th, Rowan says verbatim, sometimes I want to fight you just so you be more angry when you fuck me. She clarifies saying, I do like that though, even without the fighting.
Yeah, be nice to me. I'm a nice guy. That's some kind of loose screw you gotta screw in. What? Why are you doing this, Tom? He do be into the BPD girls, LOL. Yeah, he does. Why are you doing this? That's some kind of loose screw you gotta screw. Bro, she is giving you all the signs that she is fucked up, okay? What? What is going on? Also, hi, Cersei.
So at every opportunity, this girl is publicly saying, oh my god, look at all this horrible shit he did to me. And then she's texting me that she wants me to kidnap her, tie her up, and pound her in the woods. And if anyone is putting up any resistance to that, it's me. She once again lies about weird little things in the interview. Like she says that I was her second boyfriend.
He was I guess my second boyfriend.
And when I heard this, I was very confused because she told me that I was her third. In my opinion, she said this to make herself seem less sexually experienced than she really is, to make the case stronger that I was taking advantage of her. Now, in this next post, she writes, again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was a super gooner. Sort of normalize it in my head, but it's definitely not okay to do that. So for information on how I supposedly normalize this behavior, let's go back to the beginning of our relationship and see.
Okay, let me just... Sorry, I'm rewinding a little bit here. That's because, is it working? Is what working, Parabus? I love that Star and I are on the same page. Tom's career is pointing and laughing at private lives being leaked. And now we are doing the same. Bro should have took his own advice and stopped gooning, lol. Well, okay, look, Tipster. I know that you have very good reason to, like, resent Tom. What I'll say is, like, I don't know Tom that well. I have seen some of his videos been good, but then, you know, the Poppy and Xena video, I don't think that was a good video. That one was done very badly. And also slandered Tipster at the end of it, which was not, Tipster did not deserve that. What I will say is that, yeah, this is very embarrassing. If I were in Tom's position, I would be humiliated too. But some of these responses, bro. Look, I wish Tom the best, okay? And it seems like I wish Tom the best, and it seems like for the most part, he just made terrible choices with his partners, and maybe he was a little bit selfish as a 20-year-old guy, which is not super out there for a 20-year-old guy, or however old he is. He's in his early 20s. But yeah, that's my thoughts on this, you know. So I can't listen to this anymore. Can we cover something less disturbing, like the Gaza war footage? Tom is going off about his massive turkey. I don't think he's all that. Stop! To be clear, I'm not okay with these women lying on his name. Good on him for defending himself with receipts, but it doesn't make it any less funny, lol. Stop talking about it, okay? I keep seeing the jokes, and this is why none of us can survive in this space, okay?
Than she really is, to make the case stronger that I was taking advantage of her. Now, in this next post, she writes, again, I'm not alleging anything illegal, just that he would hit and choke because he was a super gooner. Sort of normalize it.
That is kind of illegal, though, isn't it? Imagine Tom dressed like Fred Flintstone talking like, I don't want to have sex in the woods, Wilma. What is this? What is wrong with you guys? Did I get like... I know Tom fans type weird shit all the time. Are you a Tom fan? Is that what's happening here? Is that why you're typing this? I don't need to imagine this, okay? I'm already getting way too many details than I ever needed to hear.
In my head, but it's definitely not okay to do that. So for information on how I supposedly normalize this behavior, let's go back to the beginning of our relationship and see what our conversations about sex were like. On Wednesday, May 14th, after only hanging out with Rowan once, she texted me saying she's excited to hang out with me again, and she already knows my penis is massive, without me saying anything sexual to her at this point. So as you might suspect...
By the way, Loner is arguing with Magatards on Wick TV. He's winning. Based.
We did have intercourse on our second date, and after this first sexual encounter, Rowan texts me saying, quote, rape thing is so hot. I never did that before.
What the fuck? Okay, you guys are distracting me. We need to pay attention here, okay? Like I said, okay, I met Tom IRL, okay? I met him when I went to VidCon, and I went to one of his parties, and, the first time he came up and talked to me, and I was like, oh, it's Tom, the little guy, you know, he's, like, younger than me, he's in his early 20s, and I'm like, oh my god, it's my little guy, it's my little buddy, you know, even though he's a massive YouTuber, he's so much taller than me. But I thought, oh, it's my little guy, the little buddy, you know? And one of these guys in the, I don't know, I consider all my friends in commentary community, because they're all younger than me, they're all my little buddies, okay? And so this was too many details. This was way too much. I don't know, I feel like a weirdo now that I've covered this drama. I feel like that, you know, I bet Tipster feels the same way, being so much older than everybody in the space. I just feel like, I know I look so much younger, okay, but I am older than them. So I just feel like a little bit of a creep, honestly, like covering this shit. But anyways.
You should tie me up next time. My response to this is, after decided to hang out with me again, and she already knows my penis is massive, without me saying anything sexual to her at this point. So as you might suspect, we did have intercourse on our second date, and after this first sexual encounter, Rowan texts me saying, quote, "Rape thing is so hot. I never did that before. You should tie me up next time." My response to this is, consensual sex is good. And she says, "You know what I meant by that. I don't know what to call it." So from the very first interaction we have, she calls our sex rape for some reason, saying how hot.
This is giving me PPSD, PPSTD, bro, come on, or PPTSD, okay.
Hot it is, to which I clarify that it was consensual, and she says, "I know what you mean." And for the record, I never indulged in her fantasy to be tied up.
Okay.
Just not something I was interested in any way. And we also never did anything in the woods, in case you're curious about that. To hammer this point home, let's go over some more texts where Rowan talks about sex.
Yeah, I can tell that you didn't do anything in the woods, Tom, with the way that you responded to her. I don't want to do it in the woods. Okay. I would ID you if you tried to buy alcohol and I was selling at Star. Oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. That's very kind of you to say.
Friday, May 16th, she texts me asking when I'm free and says that she needs my, quote, "big dick." And I say, "Don't say ah." And she says, "It is, and I need it." On May 18th, Rowan says she's not used to being...
Wait, what?
...when I'm free, and says that she needs my, quote, "big dick." And I say, "Don't say ah." And she says, "It is, and I need it." On May 18th, Rowan says she's not used to being with someone with as big of a dick as mine. She says that it hurt her, but she wants to do it again, and she won't be a pussy about it. Some of her public claims about me are more desperate and weird than others. Like she complains that I didn't eat her out.
Like, he never once ate me out, but he would demand that I would constantly suck his dick. And, like, yeah.
But here is a text message of me directly telling her, "Look, I'm a selfish lover." And she says, "It's okay."
She says, "I want to sit on your face so bad. I don't know if you're an eater, though. Not gonna lie, I'm not. I'm a selfish lover. LOL, that's okay. It's okay. I like S-ing D more than getting eaten. I'm a real freak. Big win. Not gonna lie, that's a big win." I don't know. I'm not necessarily gonna excuse it. At least he admits that he's selfish, though, I guess. But yeah.
I like sucking dick more than getting eaten out. I'm a real freak. Despite her acting like I am
But yeah, she shouldn't have used that against him. She is the one who excused the behavior, right? You do have to set standards for yourself in relationships, and if that's unacceptable to you, then you should communicate that that's unacceptable to you. But
am a like sexual degenerate, repeatedly doing sex acts she doesn't enjoy. Here she is saying, "You match my freak," kind of. Not "you're too freaky" or "we've been too freaky." She says that I match her freak. Here in this next one, she says, "I'm getting on my knees as soon as I see you, by the way, freak mode." In this next one, I give a little bit of input. I tell her I'm thinking about her pussy. And she responds to me saying, "You gonna tear it up or what?" Now, my question for you in the audience would be, do people who are into slow, romantic, candlelit sex describe intercourse as their pussy getting torn up? I would say probably not. Here in this next one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And keep in mind, I don't want to reveal any of this information, okay? I don't want to be saying this.
Okay. Okay. The weird part is that she keeps talking to him this way, and it's like I almost wonder if she's one of like she maybe thinks that she can keep him longer by acting as much like a demon as possible, but I don't know.
Say probably not. Here in this next one, she says she's going to leave mass early on Sunday to go get some dick. And keep in mind, I don't want to reveal any of this information, okay? I don't want to be saying this. I don't want to be here right now. And I would never intend on sexually shaming an ex-partner. But she's gone out of her way to not only shame me, but also to lie in an effort to paint me as some gooner, freak, borderline rapist. So let's keep going. Here, Rowan makes a post saying that I am a Patrick Bateman gooner because I flexed in the mirror after we had sex. But
bro, he's a gym guy. The gym guys go and they flex in front of the mirror. Yeah, of course.
The strange part about this is that I have a text of her saying, quote, "I keep thinking about how hot it was watching myself take your big dick in the mirror. Gooner as fuck, sorry." Reading through what she says about me publicly, it's like every accusation she makes towards me is actually some kind of confession to her own behavior. On June 25th, she texts me wondering if she can give me head after getting her wisdom teeth taken out. She obviously wouldn't be able to do that because it causes your face to swell up like a blimp. And she responds with, "No, I gotta do it as much as possible before." Here, Rowan's asking me, am I the tightest, most perfect girl you ever fucked? On July 2nd, she says, I miss that big dick so much, I'm under spells. On July 5th, I bring up us wearing...
You know, I feel like men like romance too. You don't need to do all this, right? I think maybe she just caught really, really deep feelings for him, and she has the wrong thoughts in her head and thinks that she has to act like a demon all the time to keep him or whatever. You don't need to do that. You don't need to talk to men like this all the time. In fact, you probably shouldn't. Like, I get turned off if a dude talks to me like that too much. Like, well, really, I don't really like it. I feel like that's something that should be rare, you know? And I imagine for men as well, like, if you're looking for a partner, you don't want somebody who talks to you like you're a sex object all the time, right? So, yeah. I'm not a Muslim, but what I'm seeing here made me say astaghfirullah. She does supposedly have BPD, okay? But I've known people with BPD who don't act like this, you know? This is actual demon behavior. I think men like romance so much they write poems, songs, and novels about love and such. I don't get why so many people think dudes are all about this sort of whatever it is she's talking about. It's because there are a lot of porn brain dudes out there as well, right? And especially you assume, or at least if I think in her head, maybe she assumed because this guy is super online that he's also super porn brained or whatever. I don't know, but... yeah, I think she's just mentally unstable, and she caught really deep feelings for him, and she thought she had to talk like a demon all the time to him. But I don't know, like I just it can be fun to talk a little bit like a demon, but like more than a sentence or two, and I start to feel like a fucking pervert, you know? So. Most of our experiences have been with guys who only want that, so colors are perception. That's also true. I don't know if you guys have... one thing that I found really frustrating when going on dates and stuff is you can communicate beforehand so many times that, like, you're not the type of person, like, generally you're a third to fourth date kind of girl, and inevitably men will always, like, try to negotiate that, or they'll try to negotiate your boundaries, or they will try to just, like, get laid the first date, even though they know that you're, like, looking for something serious, you know? So I don't know. I could see that, Kay. I could see your perspective there. And it's not like women don't have needs either, you know, but it's just we have a little bit more self-control, I guess, but I've known women who 100% wanted this and only this. I'm sure that's true as well.
Condoms, and Rowan says, ew, no, and then tells me that she wants me to cream pie her and that she's a real freak. After I say happy birthday, sweetie, for her 21st, she says that all she wants for her birthday is my big white cock. And this next one,
Christ,
she texts me
dude.
saying, I miss feeling like I'm going to break in half, not gonna lie. And this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a
Dude,
good
how
girl.
much? I mean, I guess she might be just one of those chicks who's really into talking this way all the time. But I kind of wonder if they ever had, like, normal conversations, you know?
On July 23rd, she says, can I come over and suck on it Friday night? Which I don't accept.
I bet he's like, like when somebody talks to you like that all the time, you get exhausted, you know?
Tell her that I'm busy. She then says, this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd, she says, can I come over and suck on it Friday night? Which I don't accept. I tell her that I'm busy. She lie. And this next one, she says, I like when you make me choke on it and call me a good girl. On July 23rd, she says, can I come over?
What's up? I'm eating shrimp pasta. It's over. What? Hi, Tom. What's up? I'm eating shrimp pasta. It's over. How do you respond? A dude tells you he's eating shrimp pasta and your response is, can I come over and suck on it Friday night? Bro, can we pump the fucking brakes? Maybe you asked me how my fucking shrimp pasta was. What the fuck? Of all the things he could have been eating.
And suck on it Friday night, which I don't accept. I tell her that I'm busy. She then says, I have the big white cock addiction. Interestingly enough, in this next one, she's asking me if I can have sex with her while holding her in the air, essentially, and tells me that I should try to do it. Once again, a pretty bizarre thing to ask someone to do who allegedly has been abusing you for 3 months by now with overly rough sex. On July 21st, she starts off by texting
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just said what?
me, I hate gooner men, and then not even 1 minute later she says, I need that big white cock. On August 23rd, she says, whenever I wake up without my morning Tom facefuck, I am sad. On September 2nd, she expresses that she wished she lived closer to me, but if she did, it would be an issue.
Why did you keep rewinding the part of her asking to suck on it? Because I was trying to read the text in it. No shit, Buzzard. Where are the texts that are like, I'm getting some ice cream. Is Rocky Road okay? Where's the normal stuff? Is she non-white or is this weird on an additional level now? I don't know. This is the normal stuff? Please, bro. LOL, Tom's like, am I just a dick to you? Let's talk about our feelings. LOL. God, dude.
Because she would want to come suck my dick all the time. On September 17th, she sends me an Instagram reel of someone praying the rosary. I don't respond, and she follows up by saying, I miss that dick so much. Here in this next photo, she sends me a picture of her in lingerie with the caption, when it's rape time. And after she said
she might be more terminally online than he is. Like, Jesus Christ, dude.
that, all I did was respond with a photo of the movie Just Friends. On Thursday,
What the fuck, dude?
September 25th at 7:30 a.m. Rowan says, I hope you come. I got something special for our rape times. I say,
Do not say rape times. Okay, sorry. Change that to consensual sexual encounters, which is what they are. Thank you. I know. But okay, sounds good. Damn, he really did not like her calling it rape time. Oh my god, he really was upset about that. I mean, I would be too. I wouldn't like that either. It's weird she wants to call it rape all the time. Yeah. What the fuck, dude? She's got a serious issue, man. There's a hang up here. Why is it always got to be the R word with this woman? I don't know, dude. The Slazo flashbacks, both the situation and rape time. What? No, Winter Balls 2000. I do not consent to this, okay? Have I mentioned it's very hostile?
They change that to consensual sexual encounters, and she says, I know. She expands on this particular message and says, are you mad at me? I know it's consensual. So even as we're approaching over 4 months of being together, she's still telling me that our sex is consensual and that she likes it. Now that I've gone through a lot of our messages, I think it's pertinent that we get into the month of October.
I don't know the Slazo lore, okay? I don't know the Slazo lore, so I don't even know. But even without the Slazo lore, I wouldn't be down with calling it rape time either, you know?
This is the month that Rowan has publicly claimed that there was one specific incident that occurred during which she asked me to stop having sex with her, and I did not. To be perfectly clear, this never happened. But just to have some fun, we can go through our texts day by day in this month to see which day this horrific incident could have possibly occurred. On October 2nd, she texted me saying, you are perfect. On October 3rd and 4th, we hung out. She asked me if I got home okay, and she says that I am her formal date in her heart. She then says that she hates when anyone comments on her body, even in a positive way, and I tell her that she should eat slop and go for a walk and not worry about it, and that she is beautiful.
She should call it hot dog time instead. Sorry, I'm just reading the text here.
On October 8th, she continues being sexual, complimenting my arm. She then resends me a meme that says, me if I do not have violent sex very soon. On October 8th, she also says, I miss my handsome husband. Here, I tell her I landed in Texas. She says, I miss sucking on it. She then texts me saying, you gotta start putting rape time in your reminders. On October 9th, she says that she wants to hang out. I say I arrived. On October 10th, she says, let me know when you get back safe. I always have such a fun time with you. On October 14th, she says she wishes she was waking up to me in the morning. And she then expresses sadness that I'm not moving closer to the city where she's from to live near her. She then states that her life has improved since meeting me because previously she was partying and going out, and now she spends time with me. On October 15th, she says, I started my period. I wish I could come.
Wait, she talks about the swollen cheek there. I'm hoping my swollen cheek goes down. I look like Quagmire. Tom, LOL. What happened? Did you intake it? It seems this place did a bad job. Oh, damn.
She then states that her life has improved since meeting me because previously she was partying up to me in the morning. And she then expresses sadness that I'm not moving closer to the city where she's from to live near her. She then states that her life has improved since meeting me because previously she was...
Is this swollen cheek, is this the same thing that she's talking about to Null?
Partying and going out, and now she spends time with me. On October 15th, she says, I started my period. I wish I could come suck on it. And that evening, she says, I would kill myself if I had to talk to any other man but you. I say, that's true. I'm a nice guy. And she says, yeah, I'm the bad guy. On October 17th, we've already read this, but this is once again where she says, do you ever go back and watch our videos? And I say, yeah, I do sometimes actually. And she responds to me that she's thinking about that right now and says, quote, need that big white cock. In the mirror, you deadass look like the Hulk compared to me. Now, one thing to note here is that at no point does she express that the videos were taken without her consent. Once again, I just want to have that hammered down here. On October 19th, she texts me saying she needs my milk right now. She then says I miss my perfect jacked boyfriend, and that night she sends me nudes. At 10 p.m., she sends me a photo of a guy with a clock in his hand and says, I need that dick. On October 21st, I sent her a bicep photo. She responds saying, you look good, Tom. I can't wait to suck your dick. She says, I love you. You're a great boyfriend. boyfriend. She then says, you never officially asked me to be your girlfriend, to which I say that we did. On October 23rd, there's proof we hung out that day. She then says, text me when you get home safe, and I say, I made it. She also texted me saying, I love when my bed smells like your musk. On October 24th, she says, good night, you're the best boyfriend ever. October 25th, she sends me a photo of herself in a deer outfit and says, meow, I miss Tom's big white dick. That night, she says, I'm gonna send you ass pics tomorrow. On October 26th, we've read this one before, but here she says, next time during our epic rape time, you can tie me up. I say, you mean consensual sex, and she follows it up by saying, you know what I mean, Tom, rough sex. Once again, these are really weird messages to be sending to someone that you know.
He seems really, after the first time, it's like you should not be calling it rape time anymore. They're official. Yeah, biggest red flag I've ever seen in my life, dude.
Claim is sexually abusing you on a weekly basis. Now that evening, the evening of October 26th, we can see that
Y'all see what Nick posted on Twitter? Apparently this girl on KF trying to dox a girl Nick knows IRL. Yeah. What the hell? I just got here to grape time. By the way, if you guys like the content, you can be like one of our great members and become a member of the channel. Or super chat. Greatly appreciate it. More red flags than communist China. Very true.
hang out at Rowan's house and I sleep over. Then there's a text that shows that I'm leaving and mentioned that I took my friend to the hospital. On October 27th, she says that she hopes I'm doing well. She loves me so much. On October 30th, she says that we'll be married in 2 years. October 31st at 12:30 in the morning, she texts me and says, I had a nightmare you broke up with me. Oh my God. She then says that I should cut a hole in my Batman suit for my dick. On October 31st in the afternoon, she says, oh Tom, I yearn for the big white cock. On November 1st at 1:20 a.m., she says, up? No good night? I love you? Yeah, it's fucking over. I tell her that I'm falling asleep, and she says, you was madly in love with her and not me. I'm gonna myself. I tell her, good night, I'll see you tomorrow, and I then say, do not say anything like that ever again. Now, for a little more context on this specific message and what she's talking about here, during our entire relationship, she was extremely insecure about the fact that before I was with her, I had lived with a girl, and she wanted me to basically show more commitment in the relationship than I was willing to.
This is very true. 99% of people who become a channel member never face allegations, so you should become a member today.
Show as far as like moving physically closer to her, and at a few points she suggested that we move in together, and I said, you know, it's just too soon, we're not really ready for that. I don't think that makes sense after dating for just a few months to move in together. So that's the context of this. She would constantly bring up shit and compare herself to my ex or ex-sexual partners in general, but my ex-girlfriend, and I was like, don't say stuff like that. Like, I'm dating you right now, stop worrying about this. So later on in the night, she texts me saying, mass is needed, I am such a sweet girl and have love in my heart for you, I know this. And this carries into the morning where she says, hi, my sweet love. The next day around noon, she says, sorry for being kind of bitchy, let me know when you're on your way. I say that I have arrived. We take a photo in our Halloween outfits, and on November 2nd, I say that I made it home.
And like the stream, guys. True. Please like the stream.
And she says that she hopes that I have a good day. So we've now made it through the entire month of October, and there's no indication of any kind of abuse, any kind of mistreatment, or even really anything negative. But almost every single day, she says something about how she loves me, how I'm perfect, how everything is good, and she keeps sending me sexual stuff the entire time without me even asking. At the risk of belaboring the point, I do want to go through a few more messages just for the hell of it, just so I can confidently show that she was extremely sexual the entire time and never expressed any reservations about the sex we were having. On Wednesday, November 5th, out of nowhere, she texts me saying, I'm trying to make you nut. I just don't respond. On December 12th, she sends me nudes again. Kind of a weird thing to send to someone who apparently has sexual blackmail on you again, is it not? On December 24th, she says that I am a sweetie pie. She's grateful for me. She wants to make me nut again, in her words, and she hopes we're married for a long time. On January 2nd, she sends me a naked photo of herself again, unprompted. And the morning of January 8th, Rowan texts me saying that before she comes to visit me, she needs to know that my dick is working. Less than 36 hours later, I broke up with her. So as you can see, the texts don't lie. Rowan was blatantly the more sexual one in the relationship. I've produced evidence of this nearly every single week, and she didn't produce.
Star, you look as traumatized as I do right now. I feel like you could just clip me looking looking upset at one of these, and it just me being silent It would make a good clip by itself. It's just me being traumatized.
Any, because there isn't any. But apart from the idea that I filmed her without her consent, and apart from the idea that I was a sexually abusive partner, she actually made some other claims as well. So another claim she made is that I encouraged her eating disorder.
Yeah, I told him very early on, like, hey, like, I've struggled with eating issues in the
I'm
past,
tapping
and
out
I'm
good
kind
night.
of still
Oh,
trying
God.
to gain some weight and make sure everything's okay. And he would tell me, oh, I love how skinny you are, I like how small you are, you know, like, I love how your body is, like, skinny, and, like, just say all this stuff that was incredibly hard to hear.
This is also a pretty serious claim, and if true, would undoubtedly make me a pretty fucked up guy, but it's just not true. Here, I directly discourage her eating disorder, even giving her advice on gaining weight, and I say starving yourself is very bad for you. In this next screenshot, she says she used to be thick, but she self-nuked. I say you look the same more or less. I guess you lost some weight, but I think both are attractive. In this next one, she says that she feels skinny fat. I say I don't agree, and I say that working out is good.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw him even prior to this, him encouraging her to gain weight. In one of the screenshots that he showed, even before this allegation that he brought up.
In this next one, she sends me an image that says, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, and I say, that's a sickening image. Now, for those who don't know, this is it's like a pro-anorexia slogan, I guess you would call it. Here in this next screenshot, she asked me if I'd still like her if she gained weight, and I say, yes. Here in this next one, I tell her explicitly she should eat more food and drink protein shakes to gain weight, and I also tell her that gaining weight would be healthy for her, as well as saying, I just want you to be healthy. Here in this next one, I tell her that I find her sexy how she is, but that it could be healthy for her to gain 5 to 10 pounds. So this is now 7 instances of me actively discouraging her eating disorder, despite her lying and saying that I was egging it on. Now, one of the other allegations that Rowan has levied towards me is that I'm into age play. She's not alleging that I did it with her, she's alleging that I did it with another girl named Ellie, who I briefly talked to 2 years ago. Now, there's no proof whatsoever that I did anything close to age play, but I did text her about these allegations, and she clearly states that I've never done age play.
I didn't know that he doesn't like Tom. I would have thought that he liked him because Tom, like, defended him against Keffels a few years ago. Star always looks traumatized. What can I say? I have, like, resting shocked face or resting surprised face. It's what I call it.
An ex-girlfriend of mine named Kai, who I dated for 3 years, also publicly posted on Twitter saying that I never abused her and that we never did anything.
Yeah, we just read that. We just read Kai's account of their relationship. That, you know, it was toxic by all means, but there was no, like, abuse per se, right? Both of them had been toxic.
Related to age play. So this brings the total counter up to 5 people: Rowan, Katie, Ellie, Kai, and another random girl I banged a year ago named Maddie, who for some reason came out in the midst of all of this to post pictures of herself in my house. And all of these people say that I never was into this fetish with them. The closest thing I've ever engaged in when it comes to age play is that sometimes girls do call me daddy during sex.
That seems to be a pretty common thing these days. It's something that's like entered the vocabulary. Doesn't mean that they're into age play. So
it's a little embarrassing given that I am me. I accept that it's something people are going to see as a little bit strange. All I can really do at this point is accept that it's something that I've done. And I think that Rowan should accept it about herself too, given that she also called me daddy during sex and over text repeatedly. In the same vein as this accusation, Rowan...
I gotta say, okay, again, how old is Tom? Tom is what, 22 or something? He is way too young for you guys to be calling him daddy. I am sorry. Okay, new rule for Gen Z women. You're not allowed to call your partners daddy until they're like at least 30, I feel. It doesn't work if he's not dad aged. I'm sorry. You know, I'm sorry. I just feel like the average dad these days is in their 30s. I don't know. It's just wrong.
Stated, one more thing to add I thought was odd. Never really expressed any interest in Hello Kitty or that type of e-girl stuff, but I had like one Hello Kitty figure in my car. As a gift, Tom bought me Hello Kitty pajamas and a bunch of Hello Kitty stuff. So Rowan essentially wants you to believe that I'm pushing
He's still in the step bro stage. Yeah.
Kitty onto her as if I have some kind of weird fascination with it. But the truth is that I am a 23-year-old man, and I don't give a fuck about Hello Kitty, okay? The only reason I bought her anything Hello Kitty themed at all, which was once, by the way, was because she frequently expressed interest in it. Here she is sending me a photo with a Hello Kitty figurine next to her printer. Here she is sending me a photo with a hand-drawn and colored Hello Kitty image on her wall. Yeah, she made these herself. Here, in regards to her decorating my room, she says, "No Hello Kitty?" with a frowny face, and I say, "Correct." And something interesting about these texts is that she shows that she has a poster of the movie Lolita on her wall. I wonder what the movie Lolita could possibly be about. This film is about a middle-aged professor who is sexually attracted to adolescent girls he calls nymphettes. He rents a room in the house of a young widow to get closer to her 14-year-old daughter, Dolores Hayes Lowe, whom he calls Lolita. Obsessed with the girl, he eventually gains
You know, the Lolita and nymphette kind of like aesthetic is the thing that's super in right now, but like I guess she might actually be into more than just the aesthetic.
Control over her after he takes her cross country with him. Rowan even says that I should watch this movie, to which I reply that I feel like it's a movie adult men aren't supposed to see. And
Yeah, he this is a good point, Kay. Tom does the bare minimum of gift giving according to her interests, and it's a bad thing. Thanks for making men somehow worse.
this next screenshot, Rowan asks me, if I start dressing like a weird Hello Kitty e-girl, would you still fuck with me? And I replied, no, I don't want you to do that. I find it kind of repulsive. Here, Rowan is texting me upset that she has to take down all of the Hello Kitties from her dorm room. And this next one is probably the strangest reference to Hello Kitty out of all of them. Here, she's sending me a video that says, get you a man that takes you to the Hello Kitty hotel. And under it, she writes, imagine the rape here. And I say, I will not imagine. Now, with some of the more insane projections and lies out of the way, I'd like to get into some strange details that Rowan also decided to lie about for whatever reason she may have. One thing that a lot of people pointed out that's strange is that Rowan had taken a photo of us matching on Tinder before we met in person.
Yeah, I took a picture of a match because I could kind of tell there was like something.
Bro, this makes me paranoid about ever dating ever. Honestly, it really makes me paranoid about dating ever anybody at all. So
weird about this guy. Like, I didn't know if he was famous or whatever. And also, I did that to other people as well on Tinder.
Just like everybody you matched with to like gossip with, like girlfriends.
Yeah, like a couple of them. But yeah, he seemed like kind of weird. So I took pictures of him.
Tom, I think you just need to date girls who have careers who are stable, because you are not choosing stable women. Okay, you are not.
Match.
She's also stated repeatedly that she's not a very online person multiple times throughout her testimony. But the wild thing about this is, Rowan had sent me a message on my YouTube connected Instagram all the way back on February 21st of 2024, 15 months before matching me on Tinder, where she said, you have to do a video on this crazy guy on Twitter who only has like 3,000 followers.
Absolutely
but this
not.
Man is a menace. I even confronted her about this when we first hung out because I found it very strange that she lied to my face when she...
Thank you for the £5 super chat, €5 super chat.
First met me and said she didn't know who I was. I said, hey, I looked at our messages on Instagram and saw you DM me over a year ago. Rowan said, oops, yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to tell you, but I watched one of your vids a while ago and thought you were cute, but I thought it would be awkward. I responded, She absolutely knew who he was. There's no way. She absolutely knew who he was. That's okay. I was just surprised. She replied, I know I probably look crazy. I said, I mean, a little bit. It's okay. I just wish you told me. That's all. She answered, I didn't want to because I thought it would be... This is another thing. I've been on dates with people, and like I'm always a little bit nervous. Like, I don't know. I think also I choose a very specific group, a set of like dudes, I feel like, to date, because I think they're like likely to like be aware of like how crazy online things are, but like not know any of the spaces that I interact with, you know? But yeah. weird. I'm sorry. Kinda lied about some stuff. I was like a niche internet micro celebrity on Twitter for a little bit too. I'm chronically online and didn't want to admit it, lol. I've gotten better about it. Once again, this is just another detail that it doesn't even make sense to publicly lie about, but it's just one of those things that makes me question her intentions throughout the entire relationship looking back. Publicly, she's also misrepresented the end of our relationship. In the interview, it stated that our breakup took place in December and that after that she realized how bad it was and she felt the need to contact Katie, who
Just
we're gonna get
introducing a
into
guy to girl world, please.
later. This is blatantly untrue. We broke up on January 10th of this year, 2026, and she began posting about me on January 14th.
Not gonna lie, if you're gonna be with Star, you need to be prepared for the hate waves. I mean, that is also true. It's another thing. It's where I'm looking for people who are like able to hand waves of harassment just in case. But
Literally days later.
yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's very weird. Yeah, it feels like I do now select specifically for people who can handle waves of harassment for sure. So
She says the breakup was kind of mutual, an idea that is just bitterly ironic because that's not the case. Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online and even began attempting to blackmail me into having sex with her again.
I don't know what you want me to say to you. I just want to move on from our relationship and have you go be in your corner. You can meet other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just we'll break up.
No, you won't.
this was a good call on Tom recording this recording, because I mean, there is nothing more damning in this video than I think this recording, though I haven't listened to the entire video. So I really want to see how he restarted that breakup convo. Yeah. Yeah, insane.
Because
And have you go be in your corner. You can meet
It's such a weird like niche to select for, but I feel like people really, if you're like online at all in this sense, like you should really be careful about like the types of people you select for. You don't want people who are too terminally online, but you want people who are somewhat aware of like the risks, right? So like if somebody is like threatening to show up where you are, you know, like I don't know, it's hard, but I don't know, as a male content creator who's in this space, who's much larger, I don't know what exactly you could select for. I guess, yeah, my only advice would be like, again, just select for women who have careers, you know, who don't want to torch their careers.
other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just we'll break up.
No, you won't, because I'm gonna make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Why?
Because you don't deserve one.
Why?
Wait. Star, he absolutely started the breakup convo with the shrimp pasta again. I'd bet $100 on it. What do you mean? You think he was eating shrimp pasta before he initiated the breakup convo?
Other girls.
Because that's not the case. Immediately after I told Rowan that I wanted to break up with her, she began threatening to post about me online and even began attempting to blackmail me into having sex with her again.
I don't know what you want me to say to you. I just want to move on from our relationship and have you go be in your corner. You can meet other guys and it'll be fine. I'll go meet other girls. We'll just we'll break up.
No, you won't, because I'm gonna make it hard for you to ever be in a relationship.
Why?
Because you don't deserve one.
Jesus. Like, and the fact that he laughs in response to this, like, dude, I would feel horrible. Nice one, little bits.
Why?
Because you're a piece of shit.
Why?
Because our whole relationship, you act like everything is all about you the whole time.
Look, I'm not gonna deny that, like, especially the conversation where she's like, where he's like, I'm just kind of selfish. Like, okay, yeah, this is very typical man in his 20s kind of thing. I feel like men in their 30s, I don't know, maybe, again, my dating experience is just so different now, but I feel like when I dated in my 20s versus when I dated now, like in my early 20s versus now, men in their mid to late 30s, I just feel like are very different. They're not nearly as selfish. So, yeah.
Okay.
You don't give a fuck. You're just an awful guy, and I'm so sorry that your mom raised you. She seemed like a nice lady, but clearly she did something very wrong.
Okay, Rowan, I just want to move on and have my life, and you'll move on and have your life. And we can be in our own corners. We don't have to do damage to each other. We don't have to cause each other any more anguish, okay?
Oh my gosh. Bear Abyss, thank you for renewing your membership. He wants shrimp pasta, I want shrimp Alfredo. Nice.
I just want to see you again, though. Like, do you think we'll ever be able to see each other?
After the way these conversations have gone today, I really don't think so.
Why?
Because you're, like, threatening to blackmail me.
I'm not. Well, if you don't come see me, then I will.
I stated blatantly that I did not want to have sex with her. I didn't want to be with her anymore. I just wanted out of the relationship. This is something she was completely unwilling to accept, and that's why after I stopped talking to her, she proceeded to call me over 30 times and texted me 80 times with no response.
Jesus.
She has publicly claimed...
If you don't want to talk or listen to me, just say that. Don't waste my time. You need to apologize. Also, I need $900 back from my flight to Maine because it was a waste of money, apparently. Goodbye, Tom. Good luck impressing the next BPD whore with your limp dick. I have screenshots of you talking about Elle and how your dick pics were going to be put all over the internet. You're literally such a retard. Tell your friend from Dallas to hit me up. My question is, why string me along so long and say you loved me when you didn't? It became clear to me that some point that this would be the response I would get if I were to break up with you, and I've been dreading that slowly, considering you just told me you were talking to other guys over the phone, and you just threatened to post about me publicly. Realistically, I can't trust you anyway. Is that why you didn't want to break up with me? Because you were scared I would say some dumb shit? That's so pussy, bruh. I see why you didn't want me to look you up, because it's so bad. You're literally just as bad as the people you make your videos about, like fucking a Belle Delphine impersonator and getting your dick leaked is crazy than telling your girlfriend about it expecting sympathy. Have some self-awareness. You're really just an overgrown man-child in some ways. Ohio impressed. And wow, she's really toxic. I will destroy your career, but this is also not blackmail. Also, I need my money back because you should have told me before the trip to break up with me. And also, I need... Oh, yeah. You literally sit at home all day and so nothing, have no do nothing, have no hobbies except for gym and video games, have a high body count, but you think you're this high value man. It's crazy. I know whichever girl is unfortunate enough to get into a relationship with you next will go through the same thing I did, because you're like actually so emotionless and mean. Also, you're like mad chopped in the face. I had to look past it. That's so mean. Like, imagine saying all this stuff after you're like somebody breaks up with you. This is not how you talk to somebody who you cared about, right? That you ever cared about. This is not how you talk to somebody who you ever cared about. Like, people break up, they have bad feelings, and people will say things and they'll hurt each other, but saying like he's chopped in the face and all that. I'm done being a hater. You have a lawyer. You can't record me without consent. Posting text screenshots isn't Illegal, dumbass. Good luck trying to sue me for posting text message conversations on a public website. You're literally so stupid, Tom. I should have gone to the police right away, but I have evidence. I told my roommate after, as well as my friend Sophia. You can't even deny it because it's for real. It for real happened, and you said word for word, I like hurting you. I still remember because of how fucked it. Well, I'm getting a no contact order. It will go on your record. You're a fucking narcissist. I also got a lawyer. I hated having to tell my mom. You are genuinely a horrible human being. I never loved you. I just loved the idea of you. I'm going to the courthouse in Waco when I get there and ordering a temporary restraining order due to past threats you've made against me. It might go to a real court in which both of us will have to appear. What does it say about her that she supposedly felt that way and still hooked up with him anyways? The truth is she didn't feel that way about him. She's being vindictive, right? But most people, when a breakup happens and they genuinely cared about the person that they were with, even if they're bitter about the breakup, they don't react in this way by calling their private parts into question or saying that they're ugly or saying that their face is chopped, things like that. The reality is she was being vindictive. She didn't think any of these things. She very clearly was attracted to him, right? So, but she's just mentally unstable.
She is publicly claiming to be a victim of sexual abuse while begging me to fuck her again.
Like, you've done all this, like, weird shit. Like, I don't like it. Like, you're so weird. You treat me badly, especially during sex. And, like, over the phone, I just listed everything that he had done wrong. And he was like, well, you can leave me if you want. And I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave you.
Why are we
basically what
infantilizing
happened.
her, though?
But there was no like specific like. Did you guys
We
talk
shouldn't
at all
be
between
infantilizing her.
between breaking up and then?
Tom and I?
Yeah.
I don't believe so, because I blocked him.
Even this detail is also so insane. While it is true that once she started to lose her mind, I did stop talking to her, she continued speaking at me, alternating between begging me to
Just apologize and I'll stop talking to you.
forgive her for breaking up with her, saying she wanted to have sex with me again, and sending me psychotic text messages filled with lies that
You recorded other girls too. During sex, you recorded other girls during like the same thing where you don't ask. You just pull your phone out and record it. That's illegal, Tom. I hope you delete them because you really have some sick power thing hitting and choking women, even leaving bruises. It's good to know I'm not the only one who felt extremely uncomfortable. We should not be treating her like she has full mastery of her emotions. But even in my 20s, I never would have said anything like this, right? Like, in my early 20s, I had a boyfriend I was with for about 4 years. And when we broke up with each other, of course I was bitter. But even then, I never would have said things like this to him, ever. I think the meanest thing I said is I hope really inconvenient things happen to you. I said I hope really inconvenient and annoying things happen to you. Like, that was like the meanest, like, I feel like I was. So, yeah. I think I even told him, like, I hope every time, and this is an insult that stuck with me for the rest of my life because I've used it before. No, I've used it after. But I think I did tell him, I hope, like, every time you open a door, like, it squeaks really loud or something, you know? But, yeah, like, that's the pettiest thing. like, it's so fucking lame, too, you know? But, I've never been ever this low, never gone this low, insulting people's private parts, insulting their face, their looks. I would never, ever say these things, you know? And the only thing I remember, like, even after all that, like, I messaged him after being like, it was all real, right? And he was like, yeah, everything with us was real. There was not anything that was fake. I don't want you to ever think anything was fake. And I was like, okay. So. And, I mean, yeah, I've never broken up with somebody like this, you know? Like, and resorted to being so low that you insult somebody's private parts in their body and their face, you know?
She came up with once I dumped her. Now, with Rowan dealt with, the next person I'd like to address is Clorox Katie. Katie's a girl I had a brief sexual relationship with 2 years ago, and she began posting about me on the same day as Rowan. Now, back when we were hanging out, she flew all the way from California to Maine to hang out with me twice. In the interview, she describes her time with me as the worst experience of her life.
And then you fly back, and how did that go? How long did you stay?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
And she also took to the forum to make some posts about me. Yes, Tom is extremely harsh during sex. I've been down the kink roads in my life, and how he acts is actually just evil and almost sadistic. Not even kinked up, just actually a Patrick Bateman-type gooner. When asked how things between us ended, here is what she had to say. I just truly thought he was a cringe who definitely was going to beat me later if I stayed around. We only had a 2-month fling, but even my insane ass was scared of how he acted, and he was also just stupid. I hated conversation with him. He was just extremely weird to me and also evil as fuck during sex. Naturally, people asked her why she hadn't reported me to the police, and her response was, I thought about the police and looked into it, but again, it being across my own state lines and in Maine, it would have had to been filed there, and I lived on the opposite.
I've been down the kink roads in my life, 19-year-old, yeah. Jeez. You have to understand that the texts being shown are selected by a person who has experience in covering these topics. That's a fair point. That is a fair point. But again, this is a response from him to her, and it's not like she put out a lot of evidence herself, right?
Side of the country, so it just didn't seem feasible. These claims are once again so absurd to me that the best way to dispel them is to just look through our messages together. In these two DMs, you see that Katie comes to visit me for the first time on January 20th and leaves on January 23rd. She comes to visit me, she says she's excited, she then goes home, and after leaving my house the first time, she immediately texted me saying, I had so much fun, Tom, you can kidnap me whenever. I feel so alone in my bed. She then says that she has to come back. Now, days after coming the first time, she sends me nudes. Once again, this is kind of a weird thing to send to somebody that you're claiming is recording sex with you without your consent. Why would you send this person nudes? She then sends me nudes a second time, says she needs it, says so starved, so deprived, and she says that she misses me so much. I say, let's hang out in March. She says I'm down, but waiting until March will be so hard. On February 1st, Katie says that she misses me. On February 2nd, she slides up on my story and says she is counting down the days until she can see me again. She then says that she needs to see me ASAP, and she misses all the things about me. On February 4th, she says she wishes that she woke up cuddling me. On February 8th, she says she wants to have sex with me again. Once again, this is after the first time we hung out. February 18th, she says she's going to swallow me, and she then sends me naked photos of herself willingly. Keep in mind, once again, she's accusing me of recording sex with her without her consent, and then she keeps sending me naked photos of herself. She even sent me a video, by the way. She says, I need you right meow. I need you ASAP. February 22nd and February 24th, we have I miss you and are you home yet? February 28th, she slides up on my story and says, I'm gonna suck you so good. She then says, I need to see you now more than ever. Lots of hugs and hot sex. On March 2nd, she says, I like you lots. And I reciprocate. She says she can't wait to see me again. She then says that she's excited to see me that coming Saturday. In the next screenshot, I say, your pussy's gonna be so sore. And Katie responds with, good thing we had to wait a while, because then I can take a beating. She then says, I'm ready for you to throw me around. Now, when we were discussing how many days she would want to stay, she says, as long as you want, and that we'll have so much sex and party so hard. And she then once again expresses how excited she is. On March 7th, she sends me a barrage of unsolicited sexual photos, including her with BDSM leather on her butt. On March 8th, she says all she can think about is me, and she can't wait for my dick to be down her throat. And on March 10th at 7 in the morning, which is 4 a.m. her time, she says that she is so excited to see me that she cannot sleep. Now, with the Instagram messages out of the way, we can move on to the text messages. So on March 10th, this is the second visit, right? Prior to getting there, she says that she is starving for me. Now, March 15th, this is when she leaves. She she says I still have her toothbrush, but that I have to let her come back. Now keep in mind, Katie, in her own words, said that this second time visiting me was the worst experience of her entire life.
How long did you say?
Horrible. That was the worst experience of my life, I think.
She basically describes being physically abused in the interview. She even says that while we were having sex, she would ask me to stop doing something, and I wouldn't. But that did not happen. You may also recall her stating that she ended...
These messages are giving me insane ick. I feel like I need to call my parents and apologize just for hearing this stuff. Jesus Christ, dude.
things with me because I was such an insufferable person to be around. She claims that after the second trip, she began to realize she was a victim.
Yeah, and that's kind of like when things really started piecing together to me that I was like, wait, I think I am a victim right now. Like, something's not right here.
In her words, this is why she stopped talking to me. She says that she was scared of me. She says she was scared that I would beat her. Well, on March 20th, which is after the second visit, she texts me saying, Tom, I really like spending time with you, but I'm kind of worried about if you actually like me or just using me. Lol. I'm just BPDing, and so I'm tweaking and need reassurance. Are you just having fun with me or do we have something? To which I respond, well, I like you and I think you're cool and perhaps we even have something. However, I would make a bad boyfriend, so I don't really want to date anyone officially, I guess. Yeah. I was abundantly clear with my intentions with her. I did not want anything serious at that time. But apparently, this is the period she began to realize the true extent of my abuse, which is probably why after we had already hung out the second time, Katie tries to arrange a third meeting with me, saying she wishes that she was in Ohio, where I was at the time, and I did not reciprocate. After this proposition, she slid up on my Instagram story 12 times over the next 10 months, and I did not slide up on her story once, not a single time. So ask yourself, do these texts sound like a girl texting a guy that she finds evil and sadistic, a guy that she was even debating going to the police about? Because to me, it seems crystal clear that she enjoyed our time together and even wanted to hang out a third time. You gotta keep in mind here, she flew across the entire North American continent twice, from California to Maine to see me. After the second time, she wanted me to be her boyfriend. I didn't want to, and she then repeatedly made efforts to contact me and hang out with me again. Now, to close off the video, I think I'd like to share some interesting texts that Rowan sent me about her dear friend Katie, as they're both accusing me of, I mean, whatever it is they're even trying to say at this point. After she saw that I was following Katie on Instagram, she messaged me on December 8th saying, did you know Clorox Katie tried to fuck Jet Neptune? Those girls, too, make themselves easy targets with the hair and
God. And this kind of ties back into the two girls on Kiwi Farms fighting with each other, calling each other whores.
Things because they have sexual trauma. She then says, they complain about sexual assault a lot because they will fuck anything that breathes. 1 month and 2 days later, I broke up with Rowan. And in the middle of her unhinged tirade about me, she told me that she would be messaging as many girls I had been with as possible to try and find whatever dirt she could so that she could run to the internet about it. Now, I've seen a lot of people say things to the effect of, you know, Tom's a hypocrite. He gooned. And you're right. I did goon, okay? I did not stop gooning. So maybe in the end, the hats are more relevant than ever. Anyway, that's about it. I've said everything I need to. Goodbye.
Damn, dude. That's rough. Okay. Wow. Well, there was this. I was not even aware that this happened. He gooned. He did goon. Look, we're all humans. We all goon, okay? We're all humans. We all goon. Turkey Tom's ex attempted to dox an offline person I attended VidCon with in 2025. This was done because she must have known something, and she wanted us to suffer for simply knowing Tom. This worthless bitch gets no sympathy from me. I ran to Kiwi Farms to warn women about my ex who dumped me. I feel like attempting to dox an innocent woman because you're a clout whore kind of fucks your narrative. It's terrible. That's terrible. There's this. We all goon another clip for the star cells. Oh, geez. I forgot to mention when I saw him in June 2025, I was told by Nick DiOrio's girlfriend that prior to us hanging out, which is Friday through Sunday, when Tom flew in on Thursday before going to the Airbnb, he made a stop and apparently had sex with another girl who has some sort of connection to Destiny. What? And then there was this part. Post the rest from the multi-day manhunt to find who it was. Can there be one single allegation story that doesn't have Destiny mentioned somewhere? Lamau, I know, seriously. Nick, I think it's out of the bag now, but yeah, he does. Yeah, so. Or at least last time that I knew about it, he does, yes. A non-VidCon girl that Sacramento was talking to would actually know who Nick DiOrio's girlfriend is, but I agree it would be a good way to push DiOrio to breaking point with Tom. I wish a non-VidCon girl would come here to spill everything she has too. Yeah, I don't know who it is. She does. She told me the girl was apparently a long-term girlfriend he's known since elementary school. I asked her who she is just now. I actually reached out to Tom's puppy girl. Haven't heard back. Tom's ex, aka Chopped, said he was talking with her during their short relationship from October through November 2024, which is important to note. No, VidCon girl hasn't responded. Maybe Tom or Nick got to her and threatened her or something. I wouldn't be surprised. Seriously, you think... Also, update on Tom's VidCon side chick. Katie and I are starting to get sus about outside influence, or she got spooked, because we haven't heard from her for days since we leaked about DiOrio's girlfriend. LOL. It really sounds like you're just enjoying the internet fame and trying to share everything you know, including doxing people completely unaffiliated with the situation and who you haven't claimed did anything wrong. It's kind of fucked up to involve someone like her. Yes, I'm really enjoying my 5 seconds of internet clout by posting about my insane abusive ex on Kiwi fucking farms, completely anonymously. All of these freaks are the ones covering for him, deserve to get nuked. Damn, I thought that was a joke. He did a good job keeping it private. Sucks this is how it got out, yeah. Yeah, no, Nick has words. Like, as much as these people want to, like, tear on Nick for whatever his weight or whatever, which he's not even, like, I met him IRL as well when I went to VidCon. He's not even that big. And secondly, like, if you have enough riz, like, you can swing any girl. It doesn't matter what you look like as a dude. You know? So. Yeah, Rowan spent several days trying to dox this person. So gross, you know? So gross. Yeah, if you were to ask me, I would say, like, probably of all the commentary dudes, I feel like Nick would be able to swing it the most, you know? So, but, like, he's the most normal one. Anyways, I think we're done here. I've gone over the Turkey Tom allegations and the response. Thank you, guys, because I never want to cover this again. I don't know why I agreed to do this in the first place. Please like the stream if you liked it. Oh, true. Willie is pretty normal as well, actually. I guess I don't know that many commentary people. Right. Let's raid into Nick, okay? All right. Hey, this is fun. You're a great host. Thank you so much, Gelatinous Rube. Hope you're doing well. It was fun interacting with you the other day. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream at least and enjoyed my reactions to it. Our little guy, I guess, got himself in some drama. So, are you gonna watch his Candace vids? Oh, Willie's? I definitely want to. But I gotta raid out because I've got some editing to do. So I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye! Go say hello to Nicholas Diorio for me, okay?